Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the Seeking Truth Collective. This episode today, we're going to build on our episode last time, which was about how to set goals as a Christian with a faith-based perspective towards our areas of self-improvement and spiritual growth and personal growth. Today's going to be the next step, which is after we've set our goals, how do we actually make a plan to move forward? And what do we do after that? So to recap, I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you the goal setting sheet that we used last time. This is available for free on my website. It's got all of the different sections that we went through in the last video to break down goals in different areas of our life. So what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to pretend that we've already thought of some goals after that. And we've got two goals here that this person has thought of that they really want to focus on over the next 2 to 3 months. And I pick 2 to 3 months because it's a really achievable time frame, and it also helps us realize what is actually achievable and realistic in that time. So how to make a plan. So we've got our goal, and as we talked about in our last episode, we need to make a really specific goal. We fall into the habit often of doing really fluffy goals, which then makes it hard for us to know what we're actually trying to work towards and how to know when we've ticked off. So the first goal that this person has thought of is I want to be a good wife to my husband by showing him I care through my actions and by being compassionate towards his needs. So now we have the how, right? And the 4 steps of moving towards something is goal, plan, do, and check. If you've got The Power to Change Your Life ebook, that is for free on the website. I don't think I have one next to me at the moment. We break down these steps. So if you want to get that resource, that's also on my website for free. So we've done the goal, we've done the goal, which is this up here. And now we need to make a plan. And the beautiful part about a plan is that it doesn't need to be perfect, right? Because we've got the doing and the checking stage afterwards. And so many people get caught up in the plan phase that it has to be perfect and that they have to know all of the information before they can even take a step. And that's just not true. Okay, so let's think of a plan. So what I like to do with my clients at this point is ask them to dig a little bit deeper. So, what is currently getting in your way of doing this? This is your value. This is what you want deep down inside, what you feel God is pressing on your heart. What's making that tricky for you? Why haven't you been able to achieve it yourself so far? So it might be for this one, showing him I care through actions. Maybe they're finding that they're really overwhelmed, and their capacity to care and to think about other people is really challenging because they're so overwhelmed and they're so drained themselves, right? So just start jotting some of these down. So I'm noticing I'm overwhelmed. My bucket is full. Okay, what else? I'm noticing that I feel like whenever I try to do nice things, that's not really valued. So, previous attempts haven't gotten the result that I wanted. What else? And I encourage you to keep digging, digging, digging. Get all of these points as to what's contributing to this problem. And then do a flyover. Okay, so now what? What can I do? What can I change? What can I influence? And what can't I influence? So often we feel so stuck because we're looking at these things that we can't change. And then we become disheartened because we're like, well, I can't change how he reacts. I can't change that. What can you change though? You can change your boundaries. You can change your communication. And you can change your perspective on the situation. The situation may not change, but you can change how you view that situation. So what might I do? And this is, again, we have to dig a little bit deeper. Maybe the trouble that I'm having is that I can't show my care because my bucket is just so full. So maybe the priority is that my bucket is just so full and I don't have any capacity. So maybe I need to find ways to empty my bucket of the overwhelm throughout the day so that I can pour out love when I get home. What is it really that is the heart of this issue? And so you start to unpack all these layers of things. Okay. So this might take you 15 minutes or 20 minutes to unpack. It might take you a couple of days to unpack, and that's okay too. But let's just say after spending some time, you unpack that. Yes. Okay. My bucket is overwhelmed. And I'm also feeling like I want to be a little bit selfish. And that probably links back to my bucket being overwhelmed, which is making me, go into survival mode and just look after my needs first. So, what do I need to do? This is my plan now. I need to plan to take some me time during the days at work, so that I can feel recharged at home. I'm going to read scripture specifically about caring for others' needs. And I'm going to do one thoughtful action towards my husband each weekend. Okay, something like that, right? Okay. So then what I need you to do is look at these and start to brainstorm again the how. How am I going to do this? How am I going to take some me time? If we just say I'm going to take some me time, but don't actually put some legs on that, we're not actually going to do it. So how am I going to take some me time? So during my lunch break, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. That's all I have time for on my lunch break. So there you go. So you've made it a lot more concrete now. You've got your plan. All right. So then what you would do with this is you would do this and you'd set yourself a time frame. Okay. So, because this goal is only able to be, this plan, can only be practiced once a week. I might do this for 2 weeks to see how consistent I am with this plan 3. And I feel like after a week, I'll be able to evaluate plan 1 and plan 2. So for plan 1 and 2, evaluate after 1 week. But for plan 3, evaluate after 2 weeks. Okay. And so then the check stage is check for, I'm going to be checking for consistency. That's my main thing. So that is how you would break that down. So normally, it takes some time to plan it out, and you might, make 10 different plans, and then you're like, okay, which is the best option? So let's do that for this one. So we've got our goal, spending time with God every day for at least 30 minutes, praying and reading scripture. So let's do our plans. Our options are, I could do this in the morning. I could do this at my lunch break. Okay. So I brainstorm all of these options and then I go, okay, which one do I think is going to work the best? Well, in bed at night, I'm really tired. So we're going to cross that one out here. There we go. I'm going to cross that one out because I'm really tired. Listening to the podcast in the shower, I can definitely do that, but it doesn't really give me a chance to pray. So I'm not going to do that. I feel like the morning is going to be my best bet. Okay, so now that I've picked the morning, when in the morning though? Am I going to wake up earlier? Am I going to wake up at the same time? So, you might say, well, I need to leave the house at 7:30. I like to have breakfast and get ready at 7. And I want to spend my half an hour. Therefore, I need to wake up at 6:30 a.m. every morning and then make a plan. How am I going to do that? And again, you would do it and then you would check it. And you might find that you just don't have that time to go pick out that devotional anytime on the weekend. And therefore, that's one of the barriers to your plan working, is that, you don't have that ready to go. So then you might think of another plan, which is, okay, I'm just going to buy a book instead, where it's just day by day and I just follow the days. So it's just brainstorming. It's just giving things a go, doing a plan, unpacking deeply what might be inhibiting you and what's stopping you at the moment. So these are the two elements of how to approach it. You need to first unpack, dig deep, build some insight into the problem in the first place, and then you can switch back into your logic brain and use those amazing skills and talents and motivation and drive that I know God has given you to put some legs on it, to go, okay, now with this information, what can I do about it? What's some plans? What's some options? And then break it down into little steps. As I talk about in my The Power to Change Your Life ebook, it's important to just pick a little baby step, So for this person, spending time with God every day for 30 minutes, praying and reading scripture, that might feel like a huge leap to expect that 100% of the time for themselves. So they might actually have a little baby step where they just are proud of themselves for setting the alarm at 6:30 and getting used to that earlier wake up and just reading for any amount of time. And then they might build up to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes. The first baby step might be going to the shops to buy a devotional book that they want to work through. So breaking even this plan down, if that feels too big, into smaller steps so that you're not feeling so overwhelmed. So I hope that that makes sense, and I hope that that was helpful. I'm sorry that it was really in depth today, but I wanted to give you lots of examples of how you could break them down and the level of depth that sometimes we need to go to in order to get that insight into our problems. Let me know how you go, and feel free to reach out if you need any help or any support in breaking down a goal or making a plan. I'd be more than happy to help you figure out how to break that down. Stay tuned for the next video, because we're going to go through the checking stage and how to check whether your plan has been effective. So I will see you guys in that next video. Until then, keep growing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.